Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. I have an article that I want to share with you, and my reasoning for sharing it is because I think that it's Meghan directly trying to communicate with Harry. And I'll go into that as to why I think that it is, but let me share this article with you. Obviously, this is all speculative, but there are some clues giving me the impression that this is all Meghan. First clue is that this is Closer magazine, and I believe that Closer is a British tabloid. This was the magazine that Scobie used to work for, and coincidentally, Scobie is mentioned in this article. And why I think that this story popped up in this magazine versus the United States is probably because Harry is in Europe at this moment. I don't think he went back to California considering this visa situation going on. And let's not forget, he hasn't been seen since Asia. So my guess is either he has been globetrotting around or he's somewhere back in Europe. And we have learned over the last couple of years how the royal family uses the media to communicate certain messages. And I think that this is possibly a message to Has in Europe. Hopefully he will see it. Or at least that's what Meghan's hoping for. So get comfortable. It's story time. There is no doubt that it's been a difficult time for Meghan Markle, and last week the stress of the past few months was on display as the Duchess of Sussex allowed her confident image to slip when she was spotted wearing a stress patch, running errands with a bodyguard in tow close to the home she shares with Prince Harry and their two children, Archie and little Betty, in Montecito. Meghan looked unusually downcast as she wrapped up in an unseasonably warm coat and made no effort to disguise the bright blue circular patch on her wrist. And while fans speculated that wellness fan Meghan, 42, may have agreed a sponsorship deal with the brand Newcom, who produced the patch, a spokesperson for the company denies any partnership. However, a source says the clear visibility of the patch, which works by sending electromagnetic frequencies to the brain in order to switch the nervous system out of what is essentially its fight or flight mode, is a clear sign that Meghan is sending an SOS to her loved ones, in particular Harry, while he was away on a charity tour of Asia. Cry for help. The source says the last few months, even years, have been extremely hard for Meghan, and there's a real fear that this patch is a way for her to send a silent but effective cry for help to the people in her orbit, in particular Harry. It's an SOS that could signal that she's really struggling with the sheer scale of stress and the weight of responsibility that's on her shoulders. While Meghan and Harry's rift with the royal family is unlikely to be healed anytime soon, the former Suits star appeared to have distanced herself from the feud, choosing not to attend the coronation of King Charles in May and instead thrown herself into her career. But after signing with new agency WME in April, Meghan was dealt a huge blow in June when hers and Harry's £16 million deal with streaming giant Spotify was terminated after just 12 episodes of her debut podcast, Archetypes. At the time, Spotify executive Bill Simmons called the couple grifters. No, Bill Simmons called them fucking grifters, if we're going to be accurate. While another top talent boss described Meghan as not a great audio talent or necessarily any kind of talent. Around the same time, the couple have been hit by growing speculation that their relationship is on the rocks and they've been spending time apart, leading one of the authors behind biography Finding Freedom, Omid Scobie, to rubbish the claims on social media. Concerned, the troubled pair are now reportedly adapting the film Meet Me at the Lake after Netflix purchased the rights to Carly Fortune's novel. Now, the source says that while Harry, 38, had hoped for a new start from Meghan, whose pre and postnatal depression became so bad during her time as a working royal that she contemplated unliving herself, this latest tide of negativity has reminded him of their darkest days as a couple. The source says Harry has been desperately worried about Meghan and all the stress she had to endure for longer than he can remember. You see what's happening there? She's putting those triggers out to remind Harry of what they went through when they were back in the UK working as royals. So now we're hearing that she had prenatal depression and postnatal depression. Is there such a thing? Or is she using mental health again as an excuse? Like she never talked about it since the Oprah interview, and now all of a sudden we're bringing this up again? Harry has been very open and vocal about all the different therapy that he had been taking, as well as all the drugs that he'd been taking, but Meghan never once again talked about the mental struggles that she had when she was trapped as a royal. Also, Harry works for BetterUp. Why couldn't he send her a license so she could use the stupid app to take away all this stress of the world while she's grifting off the backs doing absolutely nothing, not even taking care of her kids? I guarantee if Megan just stopped obsessing over looking on social media and trying to come up with various different narratives to clap back at every single critic, she would be a lot happier. That's just my opinion. He's been imploring her to hang in there, but is fully aware of how hard it is because he suffers the same difficulties coping with it himself. The fact she's now resorting to wellness patches to cope makes Harry even more concerned. However, while Harry continued his mini tour of Asia ahead of his trip with Meghan to the Invictus Games in Germany next month, she's been bonding with her LA pals, attending a Taylor Swift concert, and watching the Barbie movie with neighbor Portia de Rossi, the wife of Ellen DeGeneres. And the source says Meghan's LA pals have been a lifeline during this difficult time. They say Meghan has other coping tools like meditation and yoga, plus she exercises most days, but she's also started to lean on her friends a lot more. She's feeling quite needy because there's so much uncertainty at the moment. You can tell another point that gives the indication that this is coming directly from Meghan is the fact that this article is talking about just Meghan and her friends and the things that she's doing. Now, if she's spending time focusing on yoga, meditation, her pals, then guess what? Those kids are an afterthought. You would think, as a mother, even if the person that's writing this article would include her spending time with her children, because they see her as a mother. If this story is being written to paint her as this person who has lots of friends surrounding her, which we know she doesn't at this time, but is trying to make it look like that she has people surrounding her, at least mention the kids. I mean, that should be like a de facto standard here. If you don't have anybody else, then rely on the kids. But as she is a narcissist, you can see she can't even talk about those kids. She's got to talk about herself. Now, we all know that Meghan is not friends with Gwyneth Paltrow or Cameron Diaz. So the fact that their names were brought up in this magazine, I am betting that they took a chance on putting these celebrities' names in here because this is a magazine that is being seen in the UK, and the odds of them seeing this article is probably slim. We know she used to do this on her TIG blog by mentioning celebrities' names of celebrities that she tried to meet or wanted to be associated with, but they didn't even know who she was. But she did put them on her website. So I feel like this is something similar to what she's doing. She's manifesting these relationships. Next move. Megan has a tight knit circle of friends in Montecito who are also lending their support. The likes of Ellen and Portia, cosmetics tycoon Victoria Jackson, Cameron Diaz, Gwyneth Paltrow, and others like her mum, Doria, of course, all of whom are telling her what a great job she's doing rising above it all. Fans have also speculated that Meghan could be set to follow in the footsteps of the likes of wellness guru Gwyneth, and the patch could be a sure sign of her next career move. Meghan also ran her lifestyle website, The Tig, for 3 years before she was forced to shut it down when she became engaged to Prince Harry in 2017. In March, it was revealed by a U.S. website that the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office had given pre approval for the website to be relaunched, and the source says Meghan can't wait for this next chapter. The TIG has always been her baby. She never wanted to put it on hiatus, but did so to keep the royal family happy, the insider says. She's always been passionate about wellness and loves the idea of teaming up with like minded celebs, including Gwyneth, Cameron Diaz, and Jennifer Aniston. Meghan's really hoping that with a change of focus, she will be able to make her comeback finally. Folks, I think Meghan is throwing stuff out into the media to get Harry's attention. I think we will know if, Meghan shows up mysteriously in photos with a mystery guy, then she's putting that out there to make Harry jealous. And we will know that things are not right all in the Casa de Olive Garden in Montecito. So, it's my opinion, but I think that this article was pushed by her team. A lot of it, if you notice, it didn't say that Duchess Meghan, it didn't really address her that. They called her Meghan. Also, too, they made Harry look like he's struggling too along with her and, he's left her alone and she's left to fend for herself, but she's going to come out as this strong, independent woman when in actuality, that's the opposite. And she really should just shy away for a little bit and get herself some help and then come back in another 5 to 10 years, maybe even 20. But right now, I think she should just focus on herself and those two innocent, invisible children and, find God. And on that note, that's all I have for you. Thought I would bring this little bonus Royal Daily Dose to everybody. I'm going to leave you with this video that I found on Reddit. I don't know who this person is, as I would totally credit her, but I think what she says here is well said and summarizes what so many of us feel, as well as she's just mesmerizing. If you look at how this was filmed, I thought it was something really cool to share. So hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you later. Please be safe. Bye.
Honest to God, it's getting embarrassing, isn't it? It's getting embarrassing. No, people don't want to wear the dresses you are wearing, and they don't want to smell the same scent that you are wearing. People are tired. And we watched you, and we praised you, and we embraced you the day you married Harry. The streets were lined, the biggest spectacular royal family you could ever find in the history books. Two communities coming together. It was massive, a moment. But no, we watched on. Freedom flight was a must. And even then, we got it. We watched Harry lose his mom. But we also watched William follow that coffin down that mall. We watched on as you sat on a sofa with Oprah while his nan, our queen, was dying, and speak hatred out of your mouth. See, the thing is, the UK, the people, the media, the press, we know, we get it, we understand, we know what they are. We don't read every article and believe every word. And you know what? We're too busy in life. We just had a pandemic. Kids were going to food banks. People were homeless. But no, you were sat on a sofa going on about your shitty cottage in Kensington Palace. People, distaste in their mouth. This wasn't a headline which we looked past and didn't care. This was you sat on a sofa. Your actions, your behaviour, your words coming out of your mouth. So am I surprised that the people look on and don't want to buy the perfume you're wearing or the suits that you've been dressed in? No. Because to be at the top, you've got to bring more than words. And when the only words you bring are nasty and hate, it's game over. It's done. People don't look up to you, no matter how wealthy or how many titles you have. The people need to look up to you to keep you in place at the top. And people simply look on with a distaste, a distrust, and the same hate that you have put on each and every member of the families we watched on as they gave you every bit of love. It's done.
I was such a fraud.